I'll bet you really hate me.
Oh, no, John, I don't hate you. I just hate basketball.
What are you worried about? I'm in the zone, man! So they're pissed off, I'm in the zone. There's a Razorback in my truck!
What's the matter with you guys? What's the matter with you?
I'll make it. Shot clock. Thurman beat it. Oh!
Welcome back to Arkansas Basketball Recap. That show that recaps every Arkansas basketball game, including the last games of the season, which happened as Arkansas fell to Arizona 109 to 88. I am wearing my defense hat today. It's my defense hat. So there wasn't any of that being played really in that game. We'll get into it. The game was, I mean, I don't want to say it was never close, but it wasn't close very long. And you could feel it slipping away early. As Arizona pretty much got whatever they want. Arkansas, they still score 88 points in this game. That wasn't going to be the problem, and didn't play great really on offense either. But I don't know. What can you say, man? It comes to an end. Somehow Acuff still gets you 28 because that's what he does. I thought Nick Pringle gave a valiant effort. You could tell that he was not 100%. I mean, that dude, he was hurting, and he played hard. I'll give him that. He played hard. Billy Richmond got tossed on one of the crazier flagrant twos I've ever seen that encourages everyone everywhere to flop. Apparently, the refs were like, let's make sure that everyone knows that we're rewarding that. And yeah, that's kind of it, man. We didn't shoot the three very well. 5 of 23, 22%. Arizona shot everything really well. Shot 64% from the field, 63% from three, 77% from the free throw line, and they did shoot 39 of them. The one positive I could say is the rebounding battle was 28 to 30. So we didn't get absolutely smoked on the boards. It wasn't that. And when you're talking about the defense, because the defense is the issue, it's been the issue all year, and it was the issue in this game. But I do think people got to ease up on bigs tear us up, and Malik Ewan and Nick Pringle are terrible or whatever. Our guards put them in horrific situations. As somebody who played a lot of post defense, really only post defense for the times I play organized basketball. They put our guards continually put those two guys in real bad positions because they play defense too late. And now you're guarding two guys and you're having to make bad decisions and you can't get your feet set. You can't wall up. You're having to move and you're collecting fouls like crazy. So I'm not saying they're elite defenders down there, but they're put in bad situations quite often.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty clear.
And we might have just lost to the national champion. I don't know. Arizona looked as good as anyone.
Yeah, Arizona was a better team. We had probably the best player, but they were just overall a better team. They're better defensively, similarly good offensively, if not better. And, you look back at after the Florida game, and we played a lot better after that, obviously. And the Florida, and I still maintain, like what I was saying before, is I don't think Florida beat us because Florida was so good. I think they would win 8 out of 10 matchups because they are better than us. But I think that the reason we got our butts kicked is because we played really poorly. In this game, it was somewhat similar, although it was really, we didn't play that poorly on offense. And I thought Arizona's defense was pretty good, but still, like the shots that you would have liked to have made, like those 3-pointers, that wasn't because they were guarding them so good. Trevin Brazil just missed threes that he makes. Acuff just missed threes that that he most of the time makes. And, if you make a few of those, it's a little bit closer. If, and I'm not blaming the refs, but if they don't shoot, as many free throws, you can imagine this game being closer, but it is difficult to imagine winning this game. I do think it's one of those situations where if you played this team 10 times, they're better than us. They would probably win 8 of those 10. There is a version of our game where we bring our A+ game. Acuff goes nuts and Malik goes nuts and everybody plays really well. And they have a little bit of an off night and they don't play as well and we beat them. But I think it is one of those matchups where if they play a game and we play a game, they win by 9. If we play our B game and they play their A game, we lose by 20. And that's what happened. We played like a B game and they played an A game. Arizona played really well. Because like I said, even though our defense was bad, they made even the tough shots. They shot, even though they shot a very few threes, they made a super high percentage of them. Yeah. And so it's like even though we were olaying them to the basket and not defending, even when we did have a couple where it's like, oh, we finally forced that guy into a turnaround 17-footer, they made those too.
Yeah, they're big guys hitting 12-foot runners in the lane and stuff.
Arizona, and if you watch Arizona in the game before, and I do think they played better defense than we did. I forget who it was. Utah State or whatever. They were a pretty good defensive team, but still, dude, if you look at the same, you can look at the same shots. Arizona played their B or C+ game against them and almost got, almost got beat, but they let them stay in that game a lot longer. Part of that credit to Utah State's defense, but also they just missed a bunch of the shots that they made on us. So it's just one of those nights where it's like, yeah, dude, you're not going to beat probably the best team in the country, certainly one of the best 3 teams in the country, if they're playing their A game. They're making all their shots. And I do think, we know defense has been a problem for us all year, and we got to eat that. Like the narrative was they're not going to be able to hold up, and they really embarrassed themselves on defense a lot of the time. You know what I mean? They did not put up the right thing. Like I said, I thought the big guys did okay considering the injuries for Pringle and the fact that Malik Ewing's not a great defender, but he tried hard. Brazil, I don't think you could get. We've talked about that before. Like Brazil's doesn't have great defensive instincts when things get complicated, and I thought that's what this was. What you could tell out there, Brazil's okay if it's like Calipari said, okay, listen, Auburn has this one guy that we're not going to let score. You let anybody, like if you see him coming around the guard, go ahead and sell out to him, make him pass. We'll accept somebody else shooting the ball. Well, Arizona doesn't have anyone like that. They had, for the first time in NCAA history, they had 6 guys score 14 plus. So everybody was scoring, and you could tell a lot of times Brazil was like paralyzed trying to do the processing of, wait, and like I said, I'm talking about micro delays in reaction where you're like, do I go to that, or is it the guy behind me that I should worry about more? And the answer was, you got to make a decision quick because it's both of them. And when everybody can score, you could tell he didn't know what to do. And his slight hesitation, you could see like he'd be standing there and you're like, I don't know what you're doing. There's a guy behind you. It's wide open. There's a guy in front of you that's wide open. And you're kind of just like in no man's land. And I'm not trying to criticize Brazil. He did not have a good night. That's kind of a shame for him for his last game, and he's not the reason we lost either. It's just of the big guys, he probably had the worst night defensively. He looked the most lost out there. And you could see that those guys had some muscle, and when he did get one-on-one with them, they tended to not let him block them because they just went into his body. But overall, like I said, I'm not totally disappointed. I was hoping maybe they'd play their B game and we play an A+, and Acuff would have a historic night or something. But when you go back to the last pod, I was terrified of Arizona. I did not think we were going to be able to probably beat them all. If you made me bet my life savings on it, I probably would have had to go with Arizona because they just look scary all year. Dude, they've lost 2 games all year. It's crazy. Like, they're a really good team. So, what was a bummer about that game is not the loss, it's a bummer that it was so foul heavy, that it got frustrated at times, that we had the weird technicals that it did seem like we got on the bad side of the refs. Calipari did and stuff, so like it got a little bit ugly. It would have been nice to just like lose by a straight up 13, getting beat without had them shooting 40 free throws and having to shoot 10 technical foul shots and us kind of start to get frustrated and lose our cool. It would have been nice to just play a good solid game. But what are you gonna do? It was a fun season. ACUF was a joy to watch. It wasn't a perfect team, but I ended up really liking everybody out there. Everybody played well at times. And I mean, what are you gonna do? Like you have Knox go down, you have Pringle with injuries. It's like, it just happens. Like, it wasn't a perfect team. They weren't healthy all year. It was pretty good. It's a pretty good season, all things considered.
Yeah, and the thing with defense too is that, like, you're like, hey, they were making shots against us, they didn't make it against other people. But some of that, if you know ball, when you let teams make easy shots, they start making tough shots. I mean, like that's
true.
That's how it goes, and that's sort of the compounding effect of like not playing great D. Is then when you decide that when you do have a possession where you do finally force them into something that you're like, I'm all right with that, they make that too, because it's like, yeah, well, they're in the zone now, dude. They're gonna freaking make everything they throw up there. So like that's kind of how that goes, and I think that we've seen that hurt us a couple times this year, where it's like, well, teams started feeling it, and now you're screwed. Like the ball's going in now.
Yeah, that phenomenon is why there's teams that are just track meet teams like Alabama. Like they're just like the teams that they play against. It's not a coincidence that they have their best scoring nights. I mean, part of it's the possession, how fast they score and stuff, but also it's just like, yeah, dude, when you don't focus on defense, other teams get off on you and then they start to match you. And when it becomes a track meet, fortunately for us, we've been able to win a lot of those. But like I said, I mean, I think after that Florida game, we kind of realized, like, Arkansas, there are tiers to this. And really all year, Arkansas hasn't been in that great team tier. They've been just outside of it. You know what I mean? They've been just missing a piece. And maybe it was a better big man. Maybe it was a, like a Thero type defender at that position, or like another Billy, but maybe slightly bigger. We need like Billy, but 2 inches bigger and 20 pounds heavier to guard some of these bigger bodies. I mean, Carter Knox kind of, but and I think that's just the way it was. I mean, like, when it came down to the teams that we played, many of them still playing in the tournament, it's like we've just come up just short. And like I said, we were just good enough that I really do feel like if you look at Texas, I actually don't feel like there's actually that big of a difference between Arkansas's team and Texas's team, but we have ACUF. You know what I mean? And that was the difference. We had similar teams to a lot of the other SEC teams, but we had ACUF. And if you watched a lot of our SEC games, that was the difference in the game. The difference in the game in the last 5 minutes was we had ACUF and they didn't, and ACUF would pull us over the finish line. And it wasn't that we were our schedule. Or,
I mean, that's almost what you were hoping for this Arizona game. It's like, hey guys, if you guys can just keep it close and it's down in the last 4 minutes, it's a 2-point game. That's what you're hoping for, right? Because you're like, I think we have the best player.
And that's what you saw, like, in that whole, the SEC tournament. The reason we won that is because we were very similarly good to A&M and Texas. And honestly, like I said, even
Vanderbilt.
the team, Vanderbilt. And the difference at the end of the game was we had the best player. Now, but like ACUF's greatness wasn't enough to overcome when we got to that next tier, the Michigan State, the Houston, the Florida. You know what I mean? And I mean, obviously we were there longer than Florida, but still,
that feels good.
And it does feel good. But I mean, as Florida was a better team this year than we were overall, obviously. But like I said, I do think you just sort of, when you played Arizona, came back to the reality that honestly was probably just about right. We were a 4 seed. That's what that was. You know what I mean? Like we were just outside. We were really good, but we weren't in that elite tier of Duke and Florida.
Yeah, I think we were a top 10 to 15-ish team.
Yeah,
and that's where you ended up. Like only 8. Not top 8. Somewhere between 10 and 15.
And it's not to say, like you said, as a fan, you're hoping, like, even if you know that in your heart, like, dude, a top 15 team at any given night can beat the best team in the country on a given night. And you're hoping that you have that. We just didn't get it. You know what I mean? We got to, and like I said, I didn't even think, like, there's a version of this game where we do score above our average, where we hit 95. I mean, obviously we were close to that. It's just like a couple of those threes go down. The difference was, I mean, like, because like I said, they scored 109, but they really didn't even have their foot on the gas for the last 7 minutes. Dude, they had like 98 points with 7 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And they kind of just like, I mean, that makes me think, like, if we had started to get close, they'd have put their foot on their throats again. They maybe would have scored 120 probably. At least the way we were playing defense. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I don't think we would have beat Arizona unless they played worse, basically, is what I'm saying. And we obviously didn't play amazing, although 88 points is still a lot to score against the number one team in the country, or one of the number one teams in the country. So yeah, I mean, you ran into a better team. You got to shake their hand, and what are you going to do?
No, man, like I think it's, what is that? Sweet 16. 5 of the last 6 years. I mean, like, and two Elite Eights, obviously. Yeah, bro. I mean, you're gonna take it. I mean, there's not very many teams that can say that is the case over the last 6 years that's what's gone down. So yeah, I mean, you feel like Arkansas is in a great spot, and the program's good.
It would have actually been sick to be a little bit of a lower seed and played Purdue. I would have so much rather played Purdue.
Yeah, it's true. And I think that, I mean, good season. I mean, I'm not upset about the season or
honestly,
like
unbelievable season. I don't think we even realized how special that was to watch Acuff. I mean, you look at the records, you're like, God dang, he's that good?
Yeah.
It's like, how bad was, I feel like we've had players that are pretty good before, but like, I mean, that was every night to look up and him have 26 plus is stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is. And then like the assist to go with it, and like the low turnovers, all of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the efficiency. I mean, like shooting whatever he hit 48% from three, and like, you know, in that 10 game stretch or whatever, like just nuts. So yeah, great. I mean, there's a lot of fun. We got another thing that's good is you're not like, oh man, what are we going to do now? You already know, like we got guys in the queue that are coming up. By the way, next year's team is going to be different. Maybe they're not going to score 90 points a game. I'd be shocked if they did, but they're going to guard. So it'll be a very different kind of setup there. Maybe you got
it'll be a totally like a whiplash if they team that wins a bunch of games 56 to 48. we'll be begging for these high scoring games.
Yeah.
Give 7-minute stretches with no scoring. I remember those.
Yeah, no, I don't know if we're gonna have that. We got guys that can score. It's just that I don't think that we're not going to be in the top 10 in the SEC in shooting, or not SEC, maybe in the top 10 in the SEC, but not top 10 in the country in 3-point percentage or anything like that. But we got dudes that can get downhill again. We got dudes that are coming in and can really, really guard. Especially got the guards that we have coming in and the wings. So I think that
let's talk retention. Who would you like to stay, and who you think is likely to stay?
Okay, well, obviously Acuff's gone.
You think?
Yeah, pretty sure.
You think he's going to turn? You think he's not going to turn down? Like, I mean, I don't even know what they give these guys. Like, if he goes 7th or something,
I think
does he look to make $45 million or something?
I don't know. I think that shoe deal he just signed is predicated on him playing in the NBA next year, probably. By the way, I'm going
to get me some A-cuffs.
Oh, are you serious? Of course, dude. Like that, I'm borderline retired from basketball. You think I'm not going to buy a pair of A-cuff ones?
I know. I've got the most expensive pair of basketball shoes that they make, and I've worn them like twice.
But you're gonna
since Christmas.
But you're gonna buy some A-cuffs,
without
a doubt. Yeah, gonna have to do that. I mean, even if I don't ever wear them, I'll just have them.
I'll just wear them like Jordans. I'll just wear them like sneakers.
Just wear them around. So that's great. So yeah, A-cuff's gone. Thomas I'm sure he's gone too. Like he looks like he's, late first round. He's probably gone. So let's just.
That was assumed. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously Brazil's out of eligibility, Pringle's out of eligibility. They're both gone. Um, that gets you down to Ewan, who technically can come back. I think he's got like an appeal thing for like an injury thing, but all indications are that that's going to go through. That's something that usually does, and that if we want him and he wants to, that he can play again. You have Billy. Does he go
I think
or
he's
does
the
he stay?
biggest question mark.
Yeah. Carter and DJ and then Sealy. And Sealy, I have no idea with Sealy. It just depends on how much he loves being a hog. Um, you know, does he want to go somewhere else and get on the court more? I don't know. And I wouldn't begrudge him either way. If he's like, man, I don't know these recruiting classes. How am I supposed to get on the floor?
Hmm.
So we'll see what he does. I hope he stays. Like, I mean, it's awesome having, Springdale guy there. It's cool. But him aside, um, start with Billy. I have no doubt that the options for Billy are NBA or come back. He ain't getting in the portal or anything. Like he's not going to transfer.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. I think it's just a matter of what his preference is. If he wants to go try his hand and get in the G League and mess around and see if he can get on a team somewhere, or if he just wants to play college ball and make NIL. I mean,
But
I'm assuming.
he's gonna get a raise. I'm sure if he comes back. Um, my feeling is that Billy will be back. I'll go out there and say, like, if I had to bet right now, I would say that Billy's back.
Well, in a weird way, I wouldn't be surprised if all those guys come back, and here's why. And this is something that I really like about. Um, Man, it feels like I just wasn't paying.
You think Carter comes back?
What is his other option? Like go like
I mean, I don't think he's going pro. I don't think he.
I
I
was gonna
don't,
say that I can't imagine.
no,
I mean, he could go try, but
no, it'd be going. So it'd be transferring somewhere else. I would think.
the reason I don't, I mean, I'm not saying they might, especially if like money becomes an issue or something. I mean, obviously money talks, and no matter how you feel or what your heart wants, if the Hogs just don't have a ton of money, like, and they're like, hey, we can give you, $300,000, and then somebody else goes, I'll give you $1 million. I mean, I don't care how much you like where you are.
Yeah.
Like, ain't nobody turning down,
Yeah.
twice as much money or 3 times as much money or something. So I don't know how all that will work out, or I can't speak to any of the details of that. But the reason I think, if you look at the last 2 years, and I just wasn't paying close enough attention to when Cal was at Kentucky, but it seems so crazy that they disliked him so much because, or I mean, at that, maybe we'll get to that point, but I'm really impressed with the way that he holds teams together, and all these guys with all these egos seem to really get along. And now part of it is, like, obviously the biggest one you could notice is DJ Wagner. I mean, DJ Wagner has had to step aside and then step up and then step aside again. And they just seem to like each other so much. And I mean, Carter Knox, if you remember, before he got hurt, he was not playing well. And there was a lot, obviously Billy was starting to take his minutes before he got hurt. And if you're paying any attention to like Carter Knox's attitude and stuff, like, and I credit Cal for being able to not, and I'm not sure if he's just doing it through osmosis because he's a cool guy or he's a nice guy or he has the right attitude, or if it's something that he's like taking them aside and talking this out, explicitly. But whatever it is, if you go last year, I mean, last year obviously was a freaking nightmare to start the season. I mean, every recruit that goes and transfers somewhere's worst nightmare with like how that started. And those guys seem to really, really like him at the end of that. And everybody talks well about him, and they all get along, and they all seem to support each other. You never hear about interpersonal drama with these teams. I mean, it's 2 years, so who knows? But with Cal's teams, and they really, even after the way that you could tell they were hurt after this loss, like, I don't know. I think that those guys like each other, and I think they like the feel of the Hogs team. So in a weird way, I'm like, I kind of think that they might all stay.
Yeah.
Like if they want, I mean, and like I said, I mean, unless money, unless we can't pay them and somebody else
Yeah,
will, because that changes everything.
I
But
would almost think the only way DJ wouldn't stay is if somebody else is like saying, "Hey man, we want you to come be the lead point guard here. We got a bunch of money." And Cal kind of tells him to.
right, Cal goes, you are, I mean, you're too good to be sitting and playing 8 minutes a game with the guys I got coming in, and I can't give you enough money. Go make some money, go get some playing time. Yeah, then I could see it.
Yeah, but that's almost how I feel it would have to go for DJ to leave. I think if Cal was wanted him to stay, then he would.
Hmm.
And I hope he does. I'm a DJ Wagner fan. Like I'm a fan of DJ Wagner. So I know Kentucky fans didn't like DJ Wagner. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why. Um, I think his
Because he wasn't unbelievable.
because
Like,
he wasn't Darius Acuff. No,
yeah.
dude. I mean, I think his attitude is.
I love him as
great.
the position he played this year. I mean, if he's willing to take that role, which obviously he is, like having him being able to come off the bench as a steadying force and a defensive player. I mean, yeah, you're not going to get a ton of offense, but like, yeah, I love having that solid of a point guard backup. Um, but yeah, we'll see. Like I said, it feels like he's been with Cal so much, and Cal seems like he treats him like a son.
Yeah.
I almost feel like Cal will be like, I don't care if I have to go to Don Tyson
I
myself. I'm going to get you the money to stay here just because. I mean, if you want to, unless you
yeah.
don't want to, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for me, DJ Wagner is like, I just have never seen, I'm like this, dude. I'm like an old man or something. I don't know. But like, DJ Wagner has never embarrassed me as a fan. Like he's only ever, he's never done anything but make me like him. Um,
Yeah, like even Brazil and Billy, and as much as I like Billy, like they do some stuff sometimes. You're like, dude, that's not cool.
yeah. Has DJ ever done anything where you're like, come on, bro?
No,
No, right? Never. Um, I have seen him. I like him as a leader too, even when he was on the bench, because I've seen him have the same feeling I have when guys do kind of like cross the line or whatever, where he does seem a little bit like, bro, what are we doing? Like, don't do that. So yeah, I'm a fan. So I hope he stays. I'd love him to, and then he can open DJs, over there, and I'll go eat there. To open that sports bar down in Dixon, and I'll go eat some wings, bro.
Mhm.
But yeah, so and then Ewan, I mean, so obviously I want Billy back, I want DJ back. I would love to have Carter back because I think that Carter's better than this year. Like there's more there, it was a he was
I'd love to have Ewing back.
I would take
If
Ewan
we
too.
have another like a primary big guy defender. If we can recruit a primary big guy that's basically to do what Pringle was supposed to do, but is healthy and hopefully a little better at it. No shade to Pringle, but based on the numbers this year, because I actually think, like I said, I mean, Malik is talented offensively,
Dude,
and I think if you matched him up
early
with,
in the game, he had a putback dunk.
that was
That
sick,
that,
dude.
that I literally was on the couch and I yelled, "Oh my God!" Like when he did it. Like and I was watching it with my daughter. Like it was like one of the crazy.
That's one of the sickest putback dunks I've ever seen.
It was
Because
insane,
of
dude.
his body position.
Like he like grabbed it and like reversed it in there. Like it was absurd looking. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll take Malik, bring him back. I just need enough. You obviously got to have another front court mate with him. Like you need another big. I mean, I just
Yeah,
go
I'll
get.
be very sad if it turns out like we don't get. If it's just we're like, all right, we're rolling with him and the big white dude.
Oh,
I'll be
yeah.
like, okay, well, I hope he improves
That's
a
not gonna
lot.
happen. That's not gonna happen.
No.
They're gonna go get somebody else, maybe two guys. If Malik stays, then they'll go get one more guy. And then I think the big based on what you have coming in, which is like Jordan Smith Jr. and if Wagner stays, you're good on the point guards. You got wings for days because you're gonna have Billy and you're gonna have maybe Carter Knox, if you have both of them, and then you're going to have JJ Andrews and a Dutorre, you're just going to be loaded up.
And maybe Sealy a year better and stronger.
Yeah,
and
your backcourt is just loaded up. Maybe you go grab someone that you think can really shoot it, and like you say, hey, do you mind being 10th in the rotation? I might stick you out there if I really need to friggin', get this defense spread out a little bit. Maybe something like that. But what you're going to focus on if you have that kind of retention, you're going to go get if Malik stays, you will get another center, and then you've got to get Trevor Brazil's replacement. You got to go get a 4. And probably that 4 needs to be able to shoot it, because we don't have a ton of shooting. So if you need like a stretch 4, so you need a dude that can step out there as a threat to shoot it. But it's that's kind of Cal's typically gone and got like 2 guys out of the portal. If you can get Ewan to stay and DJ to stay, that's probably all you need. You're going to be like, I just need another bit. I need another 5. And I need a dude that can play the 4. And if Carter stays, and you're like, Carter can play the 4 some, so he can be my backup 4. He can be my small ball 4. But you need to go get like a 6'8" to 6'10" dude who can shoot it and rebound. Like now I know, like,
and guard whenever they have one of those freaks on their team.
Yeah. So that's what I'm hoping to see. And the nice thing about the transfer portal this year is it's so short. Like it's just a 2.
Yeah, we're gonna know what this team looks like in like 2 weeks. Well, the tournament will be over in 2 weeks, and then we'll know 2 weeks after that. So in a month.
Well, I mean, like the portal can go on longer than that, but you only have 2 weeks to get in, and so like you have 14 days, right? I think this is right. I might be wrong, but it may be less. It's not more than that to get in, and then it closes. Now you could still recruit out of that portal like all summer long if you want, but it speeds the process up a ton, like because like especially that high.
And that starts like literally like the day the national championship is over, right?
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
We'll probably have a good idea in about a month.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, love it. Well, all right, man. Hey, good season. It was fun. I don't know, guys. Like maybe when the roster is done, we'll get on here and talk about it. I know we said it last year, then kind of didn't, but maybe we will because I got more time this year. So I got more time this summer. So maybe I can make that work. I'm not going to be running around to travel ball tournaments. I
am going to be running around to travel ball tournaments.
It's true.
So
it's true. But I was like running like all over the country. So maybe we can find a time to do that. All right, man. I think that's it.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for
Pig. Thanks, Darius. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming here. That you know what that did? That made it, Darius. Hey, next year, if you love Jordan Smith Jr., go buy a pair of Darius Acuff shoes. Because I'll tell you this right now. The year that Darius Acuff was having, when Jordan Smith Jr., everyone had him predicted to go to Duke, and he switched to Arkansas. If you don't think that had a lot to do with what was happening with Darius Acuff, you are out of your mind. And so I appreciate it, dude. Cal's a good recruiter anyway. You made recruiting the next point guard real easy.
Yep. If both those 2 guys go, there'll be 2 more to the Cal list of guards in the pros. And yeah, it'd be sick to see. Like I said, it feels like Acuff, you could tell he was devastated by that loss, but it'd be cool if he, to see him come back or if we make the tournament next year, have him in there rooting us on. So it'd be cool to have him be part of the Hogs legacy.
Absolutely. For sure. All right, man. Talk to you later.
See you guys. Woo Pig.